August 2nd next year. Be there or be square. Can't beat ghost hunting in New Orleans. Now, you wonder why I got a mask on. It's not Halloween. It's November. But it is Days of the Dead, Part 2. Yesterday, I was in a cemetery putting flowers on a grave. Today is All Souls Day, where we welcome in the dead of all ages, not just children or cemeteries. We celebrate the dead. We welcome the dead. And tonight is exactly what we're going to be doing. You can tell I'm outside, I'm not in my studio. I'm outside. I'm in the porch that I've been working on for several days now. So I'm out here in a partially built room. It's open that way. That's why I got the heater behind me. Boop, boop, there, wherever. Got two heaters out here. And it's a little chilly. And I actually have a tad bit of traffic, even though this is a dead-end one-way street. But we're going to continue on with the show. And we're going to get down to business without the mask. There's enough of a voice. Besides, you can't see the skull in the background. And I'm not wearing makeup tonight. So we will be continuing. What's this holiday about, you say? We're going to be discussing it. Sean, have you got anything you want to add about tonight's show?
If it's as interesting as it was last night, you should have a heck of a show because, I mean, you had a lot of information last night.
Yes, I will be going over that again. Well, not again, but I mean, we'll be back discussing it. And I was supposed to have a guest on tonight, but he forgot about he was supposed to be here last night and tonight.
Oh.
I told him last night was badly delayed because of the glitches on getting a video off the phone, which I basically shoved in front of the camera, and we did.
Yeah, that we had a hard time with that last night for sure.
Yeah, so it's kind of glad that I didn't ask him to be in the room, when we were supposed to be scheduling. And then I'm going to read a list about that contains a lot of people that I know that are friends or related to me. So let's see where we can erase that. Get rid of that. And we're here. Now, we covered the two photos. We got to get these guys covered with the New Orleans Paracon because I talked them into it. And I don't want them mad at me for not advertising it. Lee is going to be one of the top guests there. I will be podcasting the entire Paracon from inside the Paracon and also be podcasting all ghost hunts. But as many as I can be on the time. There will be ghost hunts going one way or the other and going on at the same time. I can't be everywhere at once. I'm not multi-man. You remember that comic movie? TV show?
Yeah.
Multi-man?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Coil Man?
Yeah.
That's a while back, my friend.
Yeah, it is. Definitely so. You're telling us our ages.
Yes. Without saying the number. All right, let's go ahead and get started. You want to stay in the room or out of the room while I'm doing this? Because basically I'm going to be reading out of like I was last night.
Okay.
From another tab. So last night the microphone stayed on. I have gone out, got another tab, and the microphone cut off, and I didn't even know it.
How about I go backstage and let you have the show, and if you need me, just holler.
Okay, I'll need you whenever I finish. I'll go and then I'll give my list, and then I'm going to need you because we need to change over to camera number 2 and basically set up the Echo Box session.
Okay.
And please do not turn the mic, or I think I've got that muted. The camera 2 does not need a microphone. I don't need 2 mics going at once. You know how that sounds.
Right.
You can't understand everything that's going on.
So just holler when you need me.
All right. I'll say something.
All righty. Here we go. I'll show us
all right. All right. Now I'm going to go into some explanation of what All Souls Day is, which is actually the 3rd day of what we call the Halloween season, the Days of the Dead. It starts with Hallows Eve, America, United States. Usually, that's a common misnomer. Mexico is technically America. Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, are all American countries. The United States is an American country, but we call ourselves Americans. They could technically call themselves Americans too. Okay, it's a commemoration of all the faithful departed. It's a day of prayer and remembrance observed by Christians on 2nd November. Some people think this is pagan. They see me dressed like this on the 1st and 2nd. These are actually celebrated by Christians, usually in Catholics, including Western Christianity, including Roman Catholicism, and certain parts of Lutheranism and Angelicalism. It's the third day of All Hallowtide after All Saints' Day and All Hallows Eve, which is Halloween. Halloween, All Hallows Eve. They have quite a few churches commemorate the faithful departed on the Friday before Lent. As with other days of the All Hallowtide season, popular practices for All Souls Day, including attending Mass, offer for the souls of the faithful departed, as well as Christian families visiting graveyards, did that yesterday, in order to pray and decorate their families' graves with garlands, flowers, candles, and incense. Given that many Christian cemeteries are interdenominational in nature, All Souls Day observance have an innumerable dimension, with believers from various Christian denominations praying together and cooperating to adorn graves. That is a kind of a unique thing. I mean, over here you can't get the Baptists and the Presbyterians to talk. A little bit of background. The faithful refers to all true believers on earth and in heaven, both living and dead. And during All Hallowtide, the faithful departed are revered. In evangelical Lutheranism, the whole people of God in Jesus Christ are seen as saints. And All Souls Day commemorates those believers who have died as a faithful departed. In the Catholic Church, all faithful refers to essentially to baptized Catholics. All Souls commemorates the church sentiment of souls in purgatory, where All Saints commemorates the church triumphant of saints in heaven. I'm not even going to try that word. The Lutheran Latin Church is called the Commemoration of the Faithful Departed. The Catholic Church teaches that the purification of souls in purgatory can be assisted by the actions of the faithful on earth. Its teaching is based also on the practice of prayer for the dead, mentioned as far back as 2 Maccabees 12:42 through 46. The theological basis for the feast is the doctrine that souls which, on departing from the body, are not perfectly cleansed from venial sins, or have not fully atoned for past transgression, are debarred from the beatific vision, and that the faithful on earth can help them by prayers, alms, deeds, and especially by the sacrifice of the Holy Mass. All Souls Day is seen by many Christian leaders as one in which enumerism is celebrated, given that believers from various denominations collectively visit Christian cemeteries that are interdenominational in nature. Christians from Catholic, Lutheran, Reformed, Anglican, Methodist, and Baptist different denominations often come together to clean, repair, and then decorate graveyards together. The use of candles by Christians symbolizes the symbolize the light of Jesus Christ, and the use of lamps at the tombs of Christian martyrs dates back to the early Christian period. In Western Christianity, there's ample evidence of the custom of praying for the dead in the inscriptions in the catacombs below Paris, with their constant prayers for the peace of the souls of the departed, and in early liturgies, which commonly contain commemorations of the dead. Cyprian and other Western fathers witnessed to the regular practice of praying for the dead among early Christians. In the 6th century, it was customary in Byzantine monasteries to hold a commemoration of the deceased members at Whitsuntide. You can kind of see where we get names here. In the time of St. Isidore of Seville, who lived in what is today Spain, The Monday after Pentecost is designated to remember the deceased. They get a nice entry. Abbot Edgel of Fulda, Fulda, set 17 December as commemoration for all deceased in part of what is studied in Germany. There is also a ceremony prayed for the dead on October 1st in Saxony. But it was the day after All Saints' Day that St. Odo of Cherney chose in the 11th century he instituted for all the monasteries, depending on the Abbey of Chunley, an annual commemoration of all the faithful departed to be observed with alms, prayers, and sacrifices for the relief of the suffering souls in purgatory. I'm not sure what purgatory is. That is Catholicism. But I get the idea that if you're not punished like in hell in purgatory, I think you have to work for a living. Odo decreed that those requesting a mass be offered for the departed should make an offering for the poor, thus linking almsgiving with fasting and prayer for the dead. The second date custom spread from the Chinak monasteries to other Byzantine monasteries and hence to the Western Church in general. In the 15th century, the Dominicans instituted a custom of each priest offering 3 masses on the Feast of All Souls. In World War I, given the great number of war dead in many destroyed churches where Mass could no longer be said, Pope Benedict XV granted all priests the privilege of offering 3 Masses on All Souls' Day. If November 2nd falls on a Sunday, wow, how about that? It fell on a Sunday this year. All Souls' Day is observed on that day. In the glory of the hours of All Saints' Day, the sequence can be used ad libitum. Every priest is allowed to celebrate 3 holy masses on All Souls' Day. So if you're a Catholic, you had your choice of 3 masses to go to today. In divine worship, the Mistral used by members of Anglican ordinates, the minor propers, Inouï, gradual, tact, sequence, oratory, and communion are those used for resistance and classical Renaissance, not resistance, and classical music requiem settings, including Dies Irae. This permits the performance of traditional requiem settings in the context of the divine worship form of Roman Rite on All Souls' Day, as well as at funerals, votive celebrations of all faithful departed, and the anniversaries of death. In the ordinary form of the Roman Rite, as well as the personal ordinates established by Benedict XVI for former Anglicans, it remains on November 2nd if this date falls on a Sunday. In the 62-69 form of the Roman Rite, use of which is still authorized, it is transferred to Monday, 3 November. According to sacred tradition of the Catholic Church, 1 to 8 November, it is possible to gain a preliminary indulgence for the benefit of the souls of departed who are in purgatory. According to Children of Indulgences, a preliminary indulgence applicable only to the souls in purgatory, commonly called the poor souls, is granted to the faithful who devoutly visit a cemetery graveyard and pray for the dead. The preliminary indulgence can be gained between the second night days of All Hallowtide, November 1st through 8th. A partial indulgence is granted on the other days of the year. In order to gain the preliminary indulgence, the Christian must have received confession and absolute in the retreat 20 days before or after visiting the graveyard, in addition to praying for the intentions of the Pope. Evangelical Lutheran churches are a little bit different. David's Mars often seen as an extension of All Saints' Day, but many Lutherans still visiting and decorating graves on all the days of Hallowtide. This is how it's usually done here in the United States, including All Souls' Day. Lutheran churches, the whole people of God and Jesus Christ, are seen as saints in All Souls' Day, commemorates those who believed who have died as the faithful departed. Just as custom of French people, all ranks increase to decorate the graves of their dead. Germans come to the graveyards on All Souls' Day with offerings of flowers and special grave lights. In Sweden, the evangelical Lutheran country, people gather in churches lit with candles and decorated wreaths to remember their loved ones, and also visit cemeteries and leave special lanterns on people's graves that burn well into the night. An evangelical Lutheran prayer said on All Souls Days as follows, and if you're reading along with this, you can join me. I will remember, therefore, thee also my parents, pastors, teachers, children, kindred, and benefactors, who have gone before me in the blessed faith, are now at home with thee. If thou, Jesus Christ, my prayer finds favor in thy sight, do thou, in my stead, repay unto them my thanks and love, in whatever manner it may be possible. Unto all whom I've ever pained, deceived, or caused to sin, or whom I've robbed of honor, health, or possessions, who I can no longer ask for pardon, nor restore unto them, because they already are gone into joy and pardon of every sin, gone home to thee. To all these, O Lord, grant good for all my evil, both now and in the day of the resurrection of the just, even as thou knowest how, and as far as this which I can be granted. As for myself, let me spend my remaining days in prayer, in adoration of the most holy name of Jesus, and in praise and thanksgiving for the hearing of my prayers and those all Christian people who have been offered up unto thee through Jesus Christ. Amen. Angelical Communion. Church of England is called the Commemoration of the Faithful Departed and is an optional celebration. Anglicans view also say it's the extension observance of All Saints' Day. That sounds familiar. All Anglican churches now commemorate all the faithful departed in the context of All Saints' Day celebration. Reformed churches. There's so many churches. Certain Reformed, Continental Reformed, Presbyterian, Congregationalist churches and all observe All Saints' Day. In All Saints' Day observances by the Reformed Church, the theological doctrine of the Christian belief in bodily resurrection and eternal life is emphasized, along with the remembrance of the faithful departed. Additionally, dead are remembered on the feast Tokenfest, the last Sunday before Advent. It was introduced in 1816 in Prussia. In addition to the Reform, it was observed by Lutherans, in addition to Hallowtide, particularly in areas with large dramatic presences. Methodists. Well, when I was in the Baptist church, we hated the Methodists. They always had nicer buses than we had. We had a school bus, and they had just a 1 or 2 year old big double decker bus with a bathroom in it. We had in the school bus, we had to stop every 4 or 5 miles to let somebody off to go. Anyway, Methodist churches. In the Methodist Church, saints refer to all Christians, and therefore on All Saints' Day, the Church Universal, as well as the deceased members of the local congregation, are honored and remembered. In Methodist congregations that celebrate the liturgy on All Souls' Day, the observance, as with Angelicalism and Lutheranism, is used as an extension of All Saints' Day. As such, Methodists remember our loved ones who have died in the observance of this feast. Popular customs. On All Saints' Day, Christians of various denominational backgrounds, school classics, Lutheran, Methodist, and the General Secretary of the Church of North India described the Americanism present and All Souls' Day, saying that coming together shows Christian unity. I'll go with that. With respect to economy vendors, the economies, comma, there's a comma there. Open your eyes. Vendors sell flowers, candles, and incense sticks. Those visiting the graveyards who are Christians of the Catholic and Protestant traditions. All Souls' Day emphasizes Christian belief in bodily resurrection and eternal life. Like I said, some people here locally think that I'm out here doing voodoo or hoodoo or whatever. And it's a lot of Christian churches that celebrate Halloween. It's All Hallows Eve and the Days of the Dead, the Day of the Saints, and All Souls' Day. In Europe, it's All Souls' Day celebrated in many European countries with vigils, candles, and decoration of graves, and special prayers, as well as many regional customs. Examples of regional customs include leaving cakes for the departed loved ones on the table and keeping the room warm for their comfort. And the customs in Brittany where people flock to the cemeteries of light to kneel bareheaded and the graves of the loved ones, and anoint the hollow of the tombstone with holy water, or to pour libations of milk on it. The bedtime supper is left on the table for the souls. All Souls Day is known in Maltese. I'm going to try that. Is accompanied by traditional supper, including roasted pig, based on a custom letting a pig loose in the streets with a bell around its neck to be fed by the entire tower tops on All Souls Day in the evening before. Because the gifting of sugar receipts and the emphasis on sugar puppet decoration, the commemoration today has spurred local Sicilian events such as the, I'm not going to try that, Night of Sugar, which communities celebrate the dead. It's also celebrated with Indian subcontinent. I'm not even going to try the Spanish words that are used in the Philippines, but it is celebrated, Day of the Dead, in the Philippines. Some people here locally, I went to the grocery yesterday in my costume, celebrating Saints Day, and a guy in the deli pointed to me, said, "Look at that guy. He celebrated Day of the Dead." He knows what it's all about. And John, that is it for the information on today.
Okay. What would you like to show now?
Okay. Well, fortunately, we're not trying to download a video off the phone. If anybody wants to know what that is, contact me or Sean by messenger, and we'll tell you in great detail of the difficulties we had downloading a simple video off my phone onto my laptop or my desktop or anything else.
Yeah, no matter what we tried, it didn't work that night.
Well, we tried everything. I mean, that's corny. Putting the phone, especially almost a new phone, almost a new laptop, and having to put the phone screen in front of the camera on the computer to show the video.
Yeah, I don't know why it didn't download. That was crazy because we tried transferring it to Google and everything else just to make it simple and trying to jump it from the cable. It would not go from nothing.
Oh, and Gail and I talked about the dog that appeared in the video.
Yeah.
We have agreed that we don't know where that dog came from. The dog walked up from literal nowhere, walked away, and just disappeared.
Interesting.
It was totally weird. That friendly of a dog come up.
And he didn't seem hungry or anything?
Mm-mm.
Huh.
He kind of sniffed around like, maybe do you have something to eat? He sniffed Gail's purse. But for a dog to be that friendly to two strangers in a cemetery is just downright weird.
Well, sometimes when the owners pass away, the dogs wander over there if they're close by.
Yeah. Hey, Ravenwolf. Hello. Raven. And I saw Pam Harris in here while I was talking.
Yes, Pam Harris is in the house as well.
Okay. Now I would like to read. I've often told you I don't have many friends left. The dead I would like to not discuss, but honor tonight. Alan Stambro, Richard Stambro. I do not remember her name. Alan's mother and Richard's wife. She died in 1974, same year I graduated high school, and that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
We had to go to her funeral the week before Alan was married in the same church.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what I had to deal with, very adult stuff. And I hadn't even turned 18 yet. Because I graduated in June. My birthday's in July, and all this happened in June. So it was absolutely crazy. She died in very late in the month of June, and I think Alan waited till his birthday to be married. So it may have been the first part of July when she died. So I had just turned 18. And I was with somebody who I would known since the 5th grade. And the mother, the best friend I had, Alan. Jimmy and Kenny Chavot, two brothers. Jimmy was struck by lightning in 1999, and Kenny Chavot died of a heart attack in 2003. George, his stage name was Toby. He was a longtime DJ in Columbus area. Bill was also a DJ in the area, and he and I went to college together. Howard was a guy I met locally here in Star City. He's a former Marine and just quite a bit of time overseas. And he passed away because of COVID. Nathan was a local computer repair person, and he died, I think, with complications of COVID. He went to the hospital, was there for about 3 months, and passed away in the hospital. Carol, if you go back even later, junior high, she was the first girl I really cared about, and she died of cancer. Kathy, she was a girl I was in elementary school with. We graduated and went through high school with her, and she went celebrating graduating from high school down in Panama City, Florida, and died on the beach, drowned. Freddie also drowned. He was fishing in the backwaters. Steve Brandenburg was he was the class clown, the most popular guy, running back in high school, went to the Naval Academy, became a Navy pilot, and disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle. And these are all friends of mine. Steve and I went through, we went to elementary school. Back then, 7th grade was in our elementary school. So we went to school for 8 years together. We did not go to junior high, 8th grade together, but then again, we were in high school together.
Right.
Of course, my father, George, my mother, Chloe. Linda, she was a girlfriend that she later married a friend of mine. And she passed away a matter of months after her baby was born. Harry, who is also dead, blamed me for that. He said that there he was, not all that old, because he was several years younger than I am. And there he was stuck with a 4 or 5 month old baby, raising the baby alone because Linda passed away. Then you have Daphne. She was actually murdered in Florida in 1993. And the guy who killed her sees this video while he's still in prison for life. I'm still waiting for you to get out. Because if you get out, the last thing you're going to see is me. Coffee with Bill, a dead radio show. The DJ was a friend of mine. He had one of the most popular morning shows in the history of Columbus, Georgia. It was Coffee with Bill. He cranked up at 6 o'clock in the morning and played till 10. So everybody's drinking coffee when he was on. He was playing easy listening rock and roll. And we were later workout partners in a spa. Well, he was nursing leg surgery, and I'd work out the weights, and he would hit the pool and the hot tub and the sauna. So yeah, a spa, not so much a gym. Freddie Messer, I always said about, he drowned. Randy Heck, he was a year older than me, graduated from another high school, but we were still friends. And he had a stroke after he had a very nasty divorce, and only one child, his oldest daughter, had anything to do with him after the stroke. And he finally died about 3 years from complications from said stroke. Arthur P. Small III, my mother's first cousin, of course that makes us second cousins. He worked the FBI to retirement, retired, and in a couple of years had a stroke, and then several years later finally died of a heart attack. Almost forgot about George. This is another George, not my father, and not George the DJ. This was George the soldier, Special Forces. Of course, I lived right by Fort Benning, Georgia, and I knew a lot of Special Forces guys.
Mhm.
He and I were friends. I introduced him to the girl he fell in love with. She fell in love with him. They were planning on getting married, and he was, I can't say it. Where he was killed is classified. The fact that I know he was killed there is classified. I have to honor the classification. Sorry. He's dead. I do have a classification with the federal government for things like that, and that's, you notice I didn't say his last name either. Then there was I could not remember her name, but she was married to the gentleman that lives that way from me. We're neighbors. She was a nice lady, welcomed us to the neighborhood, and she died December of last year. So it's almost a year she's been gone. Harry, as I mentioned, he was the wife of Linda, and he passed away about 4 years ago. Ronnie Jones, a guy I worked for many years, heart attack. Patty, an ex-old lady. She had various illnesses brought on by overindulgence in drugs. I think mushrooms killed her. And there was another Linda, dancer. She was murdered by her husband, who then committed suicide. Then there was also Steve H., who passed on. So these are, I think, most of my friends that died. Yeah, some of them murdered, some of them natural causes, but they have one thing in common: they're dead. So I'd like to pray to them that I hope they're happy. I hope they're in a good place, and I hope they're well. Some of them have been dead for years. Kathy, for instance, she died in 1974. Alan's mother died in 74. Richard, his father, died in the late 90s. Alan didn't live a whole lot longer. Richard and him did not get along because he was a disappointment to his father. He had a heart murmur and he couldn't really work hard. He couldn't exert himself. He was a member of the band in junior high and high school, but could not be in the marching band because of his heart condition. And since he was always a little bit disappointed to his dad, they didn't always get along. James Riley was like Richard. They served under Patton in North Africa. But Riley went back to England to continue to serve under Patton, and later went to shore with him on his Third Army, and on his way across France and into Germany. Richard Stanbro followed Patton's old army when Patton was stripped of command, and went to Italy and fought up to Italy, where, if you remember some of the battles there, include Monte Cassino, which was a cotton-picking mess. He was there. Gene Gould also passed away. He was also a military World War II veteran. James Riley, like I said, he was a World War II veteran, followed Patton. I've known him since I was born, Eugene Gould. There was an optometrist next door to my father's shop. He served in the Pacific. He was in the PUI, Catalinas. He was a chief engineer on one of those planes. I knew him for several years. Of course, he's been gone also. So, yeah, I was about half raised by World War II vets. And I've had all this death and mess in my life that's just insane. I mean, I have had two friends that were murdered.
Hmm.
and two that drowned, and then one that's struck by lightning. What the hell?
Crazy.
Yeah. People don't want to be my friend besides I have such a horrible history of my friends dropping dead. So I don't know. But I would like to. We're just 41 minutes into a show,
We've got
and
plenty of time.
right, I need to crank up Echo Vox.
Okay.
So if you'd like to talk for a little bit and entertain people for a minute or two, while I go ahead and start this up.
Okay.
So just I'll be out of here for a few minutes. Just keep the camera rolling, and because I got candles and stuff in the background, and I shall return.
All righty. Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody that showed in tonight for Lynn's show. Like I said, we got Pam Harris, Raven Wolf, several others here as well. Chime in, ask questions. We'll answer them here right here on the show as well. Glenn is setting up his Echo Box. He's going to do an Echo Box session and see if we can communicate with a few people here as well. So that'll be interesting. And tonight I'm filling in for Gwen. She is recuperating. From her leg. She's kind of under the weather a little bit, so we hope everything goes well with Gwen as well. But yeah, last night Len had a pretty good show, as in we were talking and had some things show up in his background a little bit up, but I think we debunked them. So, but yeah, this should be interesting. I haven't seen Len actually do an Echo Box session online, so see how it works here for him. But yeah. Seems like a few of them are trying to communicate right now. I think he's also going to hook up some camera to another location as well. So we'll see what that pertains to as well.
I'd like to welcome the spirit of the art this time.
That was interesting. Len, are you still in the room hearing some of these? There he is. You had one on there, Len, just a second.
Drift is like this. Like no. Just oh. That so what? Right. So if but but
That almost sounds like Len.
well no. Mostly what? Three. Walk, play. Easy. Those in. What? Zip. Good. See. And we never. When
Go ahead and turn on camera 2.
You got to put it back online, Len. Len. When
Rob.
you have to put camera 2 back up so I can get it.
Yep.
John, do you hear me?
Yeah, you got to put camera 2 back up so I can grab it. You dropped it off. Remember earlier?
Do what?
You have to put camera 2 back up so I can get it because you dropped it off. Remember at the beginning of the show?
Oh. Okay. I thought I was in the room.
Yeah. Just lock it back up and I can pop the camera up.
That.
Right.
4.
There we go. We got her.
That is grave.
Face.
Up. Laptop. Blood. Yep.
And your
Rob.
what?
Fine.
Head. Go.
Right. Shoot. So. In. Press.
Yeah, we're just waiting for Len to set up the stuff and everything's lined up. So that's what we're kind of waiting.
Blood. Beef.
Up.
Any of y'all want to gather around the fire?
Good.
Is
Talk tonight? No, it's Sunday. You need to do this on Saturday.
and
It's the day to honor the dead.
okay.
You were dead. Anything you'd like to say? Sean is waiting to speak to you.
Is what?
Is there anyone out there who'd like to speak with us?
Bolt.
Up and smoke.
Big. Self. There.
There's a few times earlier I thought it said your name, Len.
Yeah, they're they come here are familiar with me.
Are. Thanks.
Light. When. Of.
Take. Yeah.
Not. A.
Ja, denk. So.
Any spirits here or in the house and in the yard,
Cool.
feel free to gather around the fire.
Cat.
What spirit?
Beef.
How many spirits are here with us tonight?
Okay. Cool.
Is there any of you, if any of you know Len?
Me. Are y'all the ones that come into the house and talk with me on Saturday night on the Midnight Circle show?
No.
Back.
Oh, wow. It looks like somebody's dancing in that fire on the left-hand side.
Yeah, it does.
Right. With.
And now one on the right is starting to appear. Who's dancing next to the fire?
Is that a guy that said yes, he was dancing by the fire?
Is.
We have. Like.
Said. Why?
No.
Tools. At.
Do you go to visit Len a lot?
Eyes. Take.
Is any of the names that Len mentioned a little while ago there? Are you here?
To.
We have. Here.
Take.
Yes.
Any of y'all come from a small cemetery I visited yesterday?
And see, stop.
Flatly.
Yep.
I'll go out there and do
Out. Wait.
We can't hear you, Glenn.
I'll be back in just a second.
Test. Out. One, two. Close. Just. Must. One. Please.
Also. Come. No.
Stop. Play.
Yeah, for those of you who are watching, we're waiting on Lynn to come back.
Yeah.
He's gonna do a spirit box.
Out. Out. Four.
Take your
Three. Five. Leave. Jet. Yes. Five. Just. Seven. Right. Right. Leave.
Do you spirits like talking to Lynn?
Five.
We can barely hear you, Lynn.
Somebody said Freddie, and I was asking if it was Freddie Messer. We apparently lost our connection. Here it is.
Please. Best. F.
O. Back.
Good.
Face. Line. Acting.
Who you say it again?
Click. It's.
Earth.
Yes.
That's the word I've never heard.
E. Question.
It looks like there's someone kind of dancing in the middle of that fire.
Right.
Who is dancing in the fire?
Work.
Think. Wait.
Ward. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I forgot to list James Ward's name. I apologize.
Go.
Yeah.
Or. Well. That.
Yeah, James Ward is in.
Good.
Click. Perfect. I. Says with.
And take
Leslie. There.
and
Good.
Do you, any of you have messages for the people around the world now listening to you?
up. Wood.
Five.
Went and through.
Can you say some of your names so we know who you are?
You don't want to say your name?
Jan, so, Paul, F, left, eyes, but, ears, but, down, tick, best,
Take you where?
in,
So.
is, big,
Does any know the name of the dog that was at the cemetery yesterday?
the, he, what, he, what,
Okay, what I got out of that, his name was Bud.
count, better,
Okay, who's pathetic? Me or the dog? Somebody said, how pathetic.
I guess you'll have to ask the dog the next time you see the dog.
two,
John, you'll know when that happens because I will be on all the late night TV shows and all the morning shows. Here's Lynn Dorman and his talking dog.
Yeah, but you said yesterday the dog showed up, didn't know who he was.
those, victory, check, the, one, thing, rest, two, must,
For those of you who just came into the show,
Right.
we are ending the 3 days of the dead, which starts with Halloween, Hallows Eve, goes with All Saints Day, and then comes in and ends with All Souls Day. I went to the cemetery yesterday, laid flowers on graves, said a prayer tonight for the dead, all the souls in purgatory, and ending it with a bonfire where I burned the paper that I wrote down all the names of the people I've known over the years who have died, which is quite a few considering I'm 69 years old. I've seen a lot of death. We're not doing an Echobox session. The other end is close to the fire, and we may have seen somebody dancing in the fire. Somebody said they were. So let's get back to what the spirits are saying.
Do you like that Len went out there and put flowers on your grave?
I heard 2 S's and a yep.
Well, right. About. Stay. Bravo. Please. Like,
I will also remind all the listeners who don't know, Echobox has a word bank, yes, but there are no complete words. It is basically vowel and consonant sounds.
Mm-hmm.
There should be no words coming through. This ain't nothing of 2 words together. This is not picking up radio stations, not picking up shortwave. It's picking up by microphone sounds. It's got it's got a few consonants and sounds coming from the sound bank.
Right.
But any word you hear is coming from my front yard.
Jeff.
Click.
Okay, I heard the only person I knew, well, I kind of watched Clint Eastwood. He's still living. But I used to hang around with a guy named Clint Allen. We were in a bank club together. Don't tell me he's dead.
I've. About. Jeff is bring. Build.
Can Todd identify himself, please?
Fun. With. Hey.
Half a.
Hey, Sean, you want to run this till about 9 more minutes, and we'll call it a night and go ahead and do the ending and get out of here?
Yeah, that's, I mean, your show, my friend.
Plays off.
Wife.
Right.
Better. It's off. Shoot.
S.
Didn't.
A faint voice said something about a dog in shoe.
Thanks.
Did you see any shoes yesterday?
E.
Len, did you see any shoes around the dog yesterday?
Was
Any what?
Did you see any of the shoes around the dog or any shoes around the dog yesterday?
No.
Hmm.
He answered the same time I did. I would say no, and the echo box would say no too.
Uh,
Dad.
Yes.
Check.
And
The
I
true. Right. But these. That. Drop. Drop. Was
live for music. Take X. Art.
I'm sorry, I'm married and I exist on another plane than you, so we cannot have sex. Sorry.
wish. Says
Yeah.
the.
They up.
Floyd. Rob. Dead.
Wow.
See. Top. Dead.
Ed.
do you know who the dog belonged to yesterday?
No. And they said Ed, that was another name I forgot on my list. Ed Brooks. Guy I went to high school with, died the next year after I came down here was 2016. He died in 2017.
Is
To black.
Was your
Oh.
owner buried in the graveyard?
she's
They said Buford. I don't know if the dog was named Buford or not, but I don't remember a Buford in the cemetery. But they also said Nathan, which was a name on my list.
Toy. Hit.
Okay, everyone. I know you can hear me out there. The phone's also broadcasting. We will go for 4 more minutes. Then I will have to ask you to leave the yard. Okay? You normally leave peacefully and quietly. Have 4 minutes.
What? Got. Because I thought. Check. Us.
Yes, I mean y'all.
Mhm.
Stop.
Less. Less.
You don't have to run. You still got 3 minutes.
Four.
Zero.
Music. Yep.
Right.
Four. Good. What?
Less.
Sorry. Back.
Out.
In. Eight.
Teeth.
Eric, who?
With the. Oh.
You got about a minute and a half. Then I'll have to ask you to leave. Please do not bother the wife.
Please. Back. Oh.
Okay, what do you need help with?
Hang on. Wait. Good.
Okay, Sean, give me a few seconds. They're kind of fading away. I'll go ahead and shut off the other end.
Okay.
What? Up. Through.
In Days of the Dead celebrations and also today. I honor you by saying your names, allowing you to come in my yard,
You.
enjoy the bonfire. It bids farewell to the days of the dead. We're going now in
Okay.
right now. Please leave the yard. Oh,
No.
Smokey, please leave the yard.
Oh.
Bother me the rest of the night. Do not bother the wife in the house. Thank you very much. God bless. We'll see you next Saturday night. Another next Box session. Good night, everyone. I mentioned Ed Brooks. He was a friend that died. Thank you for reminding me. Good night. Okay, I'm back. That just off the other end. That was an Echo Box session. Like I said, it's got it's not a word bank. It was sounds,
Mm-hmm.
vowel consonant sounds, partial words, but any whole word you hear is something else.
Well,
Some of it cannot be.
I tell you what, when you were setting it up to begin with, there was actually a whole sentence.
What did it say?
I'd have to go back and rewatch it, but it said a whole sentence when you were setting up the other part there.
If you don't consider the paranormal, that's impossible. what the creator said. Daniel, he created this program quite a few years ago. I've been using it as long as anybody and as much as anybody, and have gotten more results than a lot of people who have used this program. It's used worldwide.
Right.
A couple of the other banks have partial German and French, a little bit of Russian built in their consonant banks. So
Yeah.
they can go to a bank C or D and use foreign sounds.
But it actually said a full sentence when you were setting up.
Wow. Probably trying to get other spirits to come in and talk with them. It's probably following me around the yard, seeing what I'm doing.
It's a possibility because, like I said, I know it. I know what I heard there, and it said a full sentence. But I'd have to go back and replay the show just so I can see it. But it was
Okay.
it was probably the first 10 or 15 or 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes after you walked off. So it's in that time frame.
Okay. I can look at the video. That's why I put these on YouTube so they can be looked at again. And people that can pick up their own words and hear their own evidence, either in slow mo, because you can vary the speed in YouTube,
Right.
and you can hear it in slow mo. Sometimes you will hear things in slow mo you don't quite understand or hear at regular speed. Some things are actually backwards.
Yeah. They are. If you play
They
them,
actually have
about.
on the program, you can actually play. It records. If I have the record option off on this one since I'm recording on YouTube, but I can turn it on, and on a replay, I can actually play the audio backwards. If it sounds like a reverse, somebody talking backwards, I can play it backwards and hear it and understand it, which is the nice thing of the program. And by the way, if you want to throw up the New Orleans Paracon picture again, at this Paracon, starting July 31st, 2026, I will be, not only will I be podcasting the entire event inside the hotel, I will be on the adventures and investigations going on. One's behind a voodoo house. It's an old slave house, and it's quite haunted. One of the spirits there is Michael. There are several others that are there. Michael has talked to me several times. I have been there, investigated 3 times there now. I have in the Andrew Jackson. I actually talked to a spirit that Chris and Jennifer, the people who are running the Paracon, have not talked to, and they do a tour there. And they go to the Andrew Jackson at least 4 times a week.
Right.
And I thought the spirit during a 2-night investigation that they hadn't talked to. But they will put you in the Andrew Jackson, a quite haunted hotel by several spirits. Contrary to popular belief, none of the spirits are Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson never stepped foot on the property or even saw the hotel built. There are children's spirits there. There was a children's, I think it was an orphanage for boys that burned and cost several lives. Bless us in the middle of the French Quarter.
Right.
So it's quite a haunted hotel. There has been several deaths in the hotel. One guy that used to be a roadie for Ghost Adventures was there the first night of my 2-night investigation there, and he recorded a loud growl in a room where a person was found dead, gunshot, and they never figured out if it was murder or suicide.
Wow.
It was either suicide or murder made to look like a suicide. And there was another one across the way where it was an outright murder. So that at least 2 people killed in there over the years. It's quite haunted. It's an adventure staying there. And I will be podcasting as many of the investigations as I can, which are going to be quite a few. During the Paracon, I will also be given demos of EchoVox.
Hmm.
So if you want to see one of these EchoVox sessions live, come to the New Orleans Paracon, and I will show you EchoVox, how the various ways it can be used live right there during the Paracon. No charge. I'm not charging for this.
Sounds good.
So, and of course, we're in a hotel right there on the Canal Street, right on the edge of the quarter, literally. And no telling what we will pick up. So the hotel is not expensive. I think it's built in the 50s or 60s. But there's always activity around the hotel because you always have a lot of energy around hotels.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like theaters, movie theaters and play theaters, music theaters. There's always a lot of energy because you've had a lot of energy. You have a lot of electrical energy with the amplifiers, speakers, microphones, and people. So a theater or hotel is fantastic for ghost hunting.
Oh yeah, Melbourne Manor, where I was at last Thursday, was a hotel at one point in time, and the energy in there is unbelievable.
Well, a lot of people forget that the hotel in Atlanta, Indiana, some people call it a mansion, but it's a hotel. It's a hotel. And it was a hotel. They had some dignitaries staying there. And that is a very haunted location in Atlanta, Indiana. Go there. Because I'm trying to get one. Oh, there's a hotel here, just had a few rooms, but it's creepy. It creeps people out. And the guy who owns it is retiring from his nuclear reactor job.
Yeah.
I know fun people. I'm sorry. But he was thinking about retiring next year. He wants to clean up the hotel and restore it a bit. And we may open it up for paranormal investigations.
That'd be cool.
I'm going to do a few preliminary investigations. And if it comes to that, I'll be leading the tours myself.
That's cool.
If we get the rooms decent, what we could do is have overnight if you want to sleep in the hotel.
That'd be cool. Especially if you have to travel a ways.
Yes. Of course, we have a local hotel. Of course, there is also a nursing home that's closed. I would love to get into it. I'm going to have to see who owns it and talk to them, see what we can do about that. The Allen House is no longer allowing you to investigate in there. Sorry, folks. I've investigated and talked to some of the principals, which is mother and son. And she was a suicide, and he died of natural causes in New York City. They're both buried in the local cemetery a couple miles from the house. That was a very interesting story about it. But Professor Spencer wrote a book about it. So it's a very beautiful house now. They completely restored it. If you want to see an investigation there, the Ghost Brothers, if you remember them, from Atlanta, Georgia, it was their first show, was the Allen House. Their very first episode. They are still active on YouTube, and they do a few paranormal conventions around. You seen a little smoke? That's not me. That's not a ghost. I'm not smoking. It is 48 degrees in here.
Ah. Little nippy.
Just a tad nippy. That's why there's two heaters. I got two heaters blowing at me, and it's still 48 degrees, 3 feet from my head.
Wow.
So that's the thing about doing an outside chat, online here on StreamYard. Got the podcast going, but you're also shivering a little bit.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Very interesting. Last year, I sat right here. Now, I did not have a wall. This over here is a wall. Behind me, as you can see, is a new wall. This black that you're seeing right here, that is actually a window. If I pull the camera up,
because I'm seated. It's not very high. You would see the reflection off my carport roof, which is white, in that window. It's quite bright coming into it, even though with no direct sunshine because of the reflection off the white roof of the carport.
Right.
That is about an 1.5 inch thick piece of laminated plexiglass. Or Lex. It could be Lexan. Basically, it's bulletproof.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a thin window here that I want to go into double pane, but that one didn't need double painting. It's the thick. But I had it laid around the yard, found it here, so I'll keep it here.
Yeah.
I have a window on my new workroom.
So
And
that's
what
going to become your new workroom then?
yes. I'll be one of the first things I'm gonna do. I've got a stool I want to upholster, and I can build little pieces of furniture or a model airplane or whatever I want to do out here. I'll have about a 14 by 10 room here.
Well, if you're building model airplanes, I've got a request.
What?
I want a Tomcat.
I used to have two. I had a one that was about this long.
Mm-hmm.
I had one that was this long. Tomcats, the F-14 was a beautiful aircraft. They also made a Super Tomcat, but they only made one of them. They couldn't sell it to the Navy. The Navy was all sold and they were ready to go for the FA-18,
Yeah.
and they just did not want the Super Tom. And
Yeah,
that was a bad aircraft. The Phoenix missile is still longer than the AMRAAM they use now.
Yeah. That's a badass plane.
Well, it would not only look badass with those big swing wings, it was a badass plane and could have been easily modified.
Oh yeah.
To be a fighter bomber. It was used primarily as a fighter for the Navy. That was their long reach aircraft. But it could easily, the programming of the computers modified, and instead of missiles, hang some bombs from it, and you'd have a very good small bomber.
Oh yeah.
right.
Most definitely.
I think people are about done with us. I appreciate everybody coming by tonight. I appreciate your patience in the EchoVox session. I know sometimes it can be a little slow, it's a little draggy, but it's like a spirit box. You're going to hear a little bit of the sound consonants coming through that's generated by the program, and it is a program. Along with, sometimes you get a complete sentence. You get a complete sentence like Sean says he heard. That's amazing, and that's evidence because it doesn't have complete words. You'll see nothing of a complete sentence.
Yeah,
There's no explaining that. Very normal.
Definitely go back and check it out. And like I said, it was about 3 or 4 minutes into when you were setting up the first time.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and end it there.
All
Everybody be nice to each other, be patient, be cool. And we got to get our, back together in this country and just be kind to each other. I mean, this is All Souls Day. Be kind to the ghost. Don't bully them around. Don't give them countdowns. You heard what happened when I started asking people nicely to leave. They started fading away.
Yeah.
It's like guests in your living room. That's why you got to treat them. You don't beat them out with a stick or say, you got to be out my front door. 3, 2, 1. You don't do that to your guests. Don't do that to the spirits either. Just say, got 2 minutes before I shut down. And they will leave on their own accord. But Sean, I do appreciate you coming in tonight for Gwen.
You're welcome.
Appreciate Lee for allowing me on this network. And next Thursday, hopefully, I've got some guests from the up-and-coming Salem, which is coming up in 2 weeks, Paracon.
Cool.
That's what I want to do I got 2 Thursdays before that Paracon, and both of them I want to have 1 or 2 or 3 guests on about what they're going to do at the con, and where it is, all the ifs, ands, and buts of the Salem Paracon. You want? Have you still got that video about the Salem Con where you can put it up?
Hang on a second. Let me go back here.
Since I brought it up, we could show that again.
Alrighty, here we go.
If any of those people we did a show there as guests want to appear on the podcast and talk about that Paracon, or if the people running the Paracon want to come on and gives us, where, how, why, etc. of their Paracon, I'd be glad to have you on one of the next Thursday nights or both, so we can get some people in your Paracon. Well, that's what I'm all about, is promoting other people.
Yeah. That's one thing I like to do. That's why I like to do podcasts, is to talk to new teams and their experiences, what they've encountered.
Yes, exactly. Of course, I like talking to the old people too. Like, I'll have Dale on once in a while. He's been in the paranormal since 1973. Where were you in 73?
3 years old.
I was a junior in high school.
Yeah,
And
you're a little older than me. I'll be turning 54 here in December.
You'll be turning 54, and I'll be 6 months from turning 70.
So, but yeah.
Go Viagra. My wife would say, no.
Call it. The joke at work, they call it blue cocaine.
All right. Appreciate y'all. And remember, the paranormal never sleeps. Good night, everybody.
Have a great rest of your night, guys.
Take care, Sean.
You too.